Hello Mushroom Generals, today we'll be taking an in-depth look on how to play Cree. Cree is a very unique hero with a different playstyle than most other heroes. He's able to reinforce buildings across the map with ease and take certain buildings using sneaky tactics. He's not only the easiest to play, but with practice he can be good and fun. Let's get right into this and take a look at his 4 abilities: Teleport, Invisibility, Reverse, and Assault Force. Cree's first ability, Teleport, can be placed on friendly buildings. When attacking a neutral or enemy building, it'll just send the normal percentages, but then when clicked on a friendly building, it'll send 75% of the units to that friendly building. The teleport icon will last 30 seconds before you lose the chance to use the ability. Since teleport only sends a maximum of 75% of the units to the target building, it's not recommended to use this on low amounts of unit buildings. A good use for this ability is when sending an attack, preemptively start grouping up units in a building in preparation for a teleport, as seen in the video above, so that when you do take it, you can have a huge influx of troops entering into the building when you need it. This can also be used on defense very well for almost any building. You have to be quick though, because if you do teleport and the enemy takes it before the teleport goes through, you end up just losing those troops and end up losing the building as well. Also be careful when using the teleport on buildings you plan on changing into a different type of building, because once it does change, you will lose the teleport. Cree's second ability, Invisibility, turns any unit in a radius invisible, unable to be seen or shot at by enemy towers. This is very good as you can send units without the enemy knowing where they're going. The ability only lasts a certain amount of time, and after, they will blink and become visible. This is what the enemy will see when you use Invisibility. As you can see, you will not be able to see the troops until they actually attack your tower. If they do take your building, you will not be able to know how many troops are in it, so be cautious when trying to retake. Although Invisibility does have a time duration, normally most attacks, you won't need to worry about it as they'll attack before the Invisibility runs out. You're going to be trying to use Invisibility offensively, normally going for those backline buildings. Normally the enemy won't be able to know what exact buildings you are, leaving those buildings defenseless. You can normally take them if doing this, as seen in the video above. If your opponent's getting used to your attacking back line, you might want to just do a front and invis, as they'll think you're not going for the front, allowing you to take it easily. Another thing you can do with Invisibility is, although you can send a big attack to make them think you're going somewhere, you can also send a small amount of invis troops to another building to easily get a building that they might leave troops out of in order to fend the bigger attack, as seen in this video. You want to be careful before you use Invisibility, as some heroes have abilities that can counter it, such as Zig's Secret Service, Sato's Wave of Freeze, Trini's Ring of Frost, Indoors Chickens. Just be careful and be on the lookout for these abilities. Try not to get countered or else you'll be down morale and lost the ability. Cree's third ability is Reverse. Basically, all enemy units in the radius will be forced to turn around, while your troops and friendly troops can go right through, as seen. This effect lasts 3 seconds. This can be used offensively to take buildings that the enemy would be able to reinforce but now can't. Reverse can also be used to take key neutral buildings, especially domination towers. In fact, Cree is one of the best at taking domination towers, and in domination mode, as he can easily take domination towers as being able to use his ability. It can also be used defensively to stop enemy attacks and ability uses such as Stella's Third, Kenner's 4th. Pahom's 4th. Klotz's 3rd, if you're quick. As well as Klotz's 4th, or any other abilities you seem fit. Cree's 4th Assault Force gives you 100 troops over the duration of 5 seconds, as seen. This can be used offensively to give you a little bit extra troops to either defend the opponent's reinforcements or to create a counterattack with the extra troops. It also can be used defensively to stop attacks that you normally wouldn't be able to stop with the amount of troops you have. You have to be careful though and activate it really fast, or else if they take it before the ability activates, you'll just lose the ability and the troops. Like teleportation, you have to be careful when switching buildings to another type of building, because if you activate it when it's switching, you'll lose the ability just as if the enemy took it. Now that we got through the basics of Cree's abilities, let's get into how to use them in-game. The normal strat is you want to use invisibility to get to the enemy's back lines and then teleport to reinforce any taken building. See if you can get any more damage while you're in there. Try to do the most damage without losing too much morale. And then what you want to keep doing is just constantly teleporting and then invising. You want to use reverse and then assault force as needed, so if they're going to attack your main base with an ability, you're going to defend with reverse. Or if you have extra mana, you can use assault force to get some extra troops. But in a perfect and ideal game, you won't need to use them, you'll just be using invisibility and teleport. To show you the strat, I'll show you a quick in-game example of where I used it pretty well. So we started out the game normal, we're just expanding, taking our space. You know, I gotta get forges, gotta upgrade. And then right here is where things start getting interesting. I decided to take the tower, because I got there first, and I was able to. And then here he comes with an attack. Now, I know that he might have his 3rd up, so I preemptively put that down. Instead he silences. I have now a slight morale advantage. I should probably attack. And so what I want to do now is start working my way to make an invis attack. So I see that he does a big send out from his level 5 village, so I'm thinking about going over there. So I start sending a bunch of troops, like this. Even sending a little misdirection towards the bottom forge there. And then I invis. He has no idea what's happening. And then I start grouping up down there, getting ready for a teleport. Take the forge and the level 5 building, and then I wait for those troops to get into that building before sending it to that forge. And I'm in a good position, ready to win the game, and then I win it from there. Here's one more example. Just like last game, we start off normal, just taking our buildings, upgrading a little bit, getting ready to, you know, go into this game, see if we can find an opening. So now I'm just waiting. I see that he's about to go start upgrading, so I'm like, oh, this is a good time to attack. I do try to do some tricky things, trying to get a successful invis. I start grouping up there, so in case I take one, and I take that bottom one, so I know I'm going to be able to get my teleport down to the bottom, so I teleport there, because teleporting to that building to the left could have been risky, as I could have lost the teleport, but now I'm 2 buildings in, he surrenders because he knows it's over at this point, and then I take my space. Now I go throughout the game a little bit more, just upgrading, kind of taking the space that I created for myself. Building up. I make a forge here pretty quick, just so I have some attack power. Now I see blue sent a lot of troops over, so I figure that he's not going to have that many troops over there. So I start sending a bunch of troops there. He doesn't know where, and I'm about to invis. And once I invis, I'm going to start grouping up. Right there, where I was being attacked. Just in case I take a building. He has to use a treason, because he doesn't know exactly where troops are going. I take a building, it only has 17, but that's all you need. All you need to do is take one small building, and then you can push from there. You can always, if they don't have any towers, you can easily support across the map just regularly, though it's much quicker to do teleport, but if you want to save the mana for something else, you can do that. So I got a nice foothold in his base now. I'm just sending troops, making sure I keep it, trying to see if I can do any work without giving him too much morale. I mean, right now I have a lot of morale, so I kind of can spend some troops. And as you can see down left, I group up again, ready to send more troops across. Teleports. I use the tippy-tap method to make sure to get the most out. Just kind of looking around, see if I can find openings. And at this point, I pretty much have won the game, because I just have much more buildings. I can outproduce him. Right there, he tries to use a decreased defense. I could have reversed that, but I thought I could hold it, so I could do an invis play down there. He doesn't exactly know which base I'm attacking. He has to deal with that too. And just because I was able to be everywhere at once, just support, I was able to win this game. As you can see, the strat is pretty effective if used properly. As you can see, I didn't even use the third and fourth ability. They're just kind of there if you need it just in case. Now, of course, that's probably the best winning strat, but there are other strats based on some maps. If you're on a map that has like two separate parts where you're in each other's bases, the spam teleport to overwhelm strategy is pretty good. Basically what you do is you just spam teleport to get to the opponent's side and just kind of overwhelm one side using your teleport and your ability to send troops across the map very easily, and just spam them with that to win, and just win by having more troops. Another one, in smaller maps and with maps with not that much production, you can rush your fourth, where you can just get a huge unit advantage, use the fourth. Although both of these are kind of map specific, I wouldn't recommend doing them 100% of the time, but they can work if you have the right map. Here are some examples. This game is a perfect example of how powerful the overwhelming strategy can be. So we just start off normal, taking our normal bases, no one's going for any sort of cheese or early game aggression. Then my opponent decides to go for his bottom 15 village, in which I thought, with my troops that I had close by, I could take, and then support with the 40 troops I have on the other side of the map. So I tried to go for attack. It does fail, but now I have so many more troops than he does on this side, so I continue my aggression. Even though I'm down on morale, I'm still pushing because I know I will be able to defend anything, as I will have the troops. So I'm able to take that building down there. I'm still grouping up my troops at the right side, getting ready, trying to put on pressure just in case, like force them to use abilities to defend. I get teleport, and it's not looking too good right now, but using a third just to save my life there, I'm able to continue just pouring units, grouping them up, and getting ready to send them off across the map using my teleport. Now, even though it looks grim, using that teleport, I can just send it across the map, and now I have troop advantage, and I don't have that much morale, but it's enough to allow me to defend. So I'm attacking, still working, and now I'm able to take that whole column, and with this defense right here, I'm able to pull through and then win the game later on. And that's how powerful the overwhelming strat can be. This is one of the rare maps where you can go for that rush fourth kind of strat. As you can see, this map is kind of set up bad for Cree, where you can't really get that much good ability use out of his abilities. Yeah, you can teleport, yeah, you can invis, yeah, you can reverse, but it won't do as much as it would on other maps. So I start off with a 50-50 opener, do some damage, I lose some morale, but I do a little bit of damage. Now I just have to defend his aggression, whatever that may be. So he starts off by attacking. I think I can defend. It'll be close, but I end up defending. So now I'm just making sure my forge is well protected, as I have the extra defense on that level 5 building, so I'm pretty sure I can keep that. Making sure to upgrade to level 2 so I can get ×2 the production on those buildings, and I'm just kind of waiting for that fourth. I can play a little more aggressive to build up some of my attacks, so I'm kind of just trying to make sure I have more production than he does at this point. So I decided to go for a risky move. I go for this 20 in hopes he doesn't steal it, and I'm able to get it without any aggression or counterattack. So now I'm just, okay, I'm feeling good. I try to get the other 20 now. And I notice he's also kind of close to his fourth, so I might need my third here to defend his fourth, but the best way to defeat a counter, at least in my opinion, is just to go attack, because then he has to use abilities for defense. I'm like, okay, this will give me a huge troop advantage, I'm able to take some units. Even though my attack here isn't the best, it's just because I have the sheer amount of units at this point, I'm able to just clean up some things, and then at this point, it's game over, he surrenders. To wrap it up, Cree is a unique hero with a very unique set of skills. Based on what map you get is going to probably determine how you play him. On some maps, you'll be able to just teleport all around the map, giving you unit advantages where your opponent won't have them. On other maps, you're just going to be invising, trying to go for those backline troops. In some maps, you won't have any really good options, so you're just going to be rushing that forth. It really depends on the maps. One thing I really just touched on, but I really want to emphasize, is he dominates in domination. His third can be used on the buildings because it's not actually being used on the buildings, which allows him to just dominate domination. So whenever you're using him in domination, be sure to use the third aggressively to take those domination towers and get the easy win. My last bit of advice is just to watch your opponent's abilities. A lot of the time you're going to be torn between using invisibility or reverse to do your aggression, and just make the decision based on your opponent's abilities and what they can use to counter. If they can counter invisibility, use reverse as your aggression. If they have a big aggression ability and you need reverse to counter it, use invisibility instead. Hopefully this guide has given you the tools you need to use the abilities properly. Quick note before ending this video, all the stuff I talked about with the mechanics part is all based on level 5 Cree. If you want to know all the level information, go check out the website in the description below. But even if the levels are lower than level 5, you're still going to play him the same. It's just going to be a tad bit harder, but definitely still possible. Well, hopefully this guide helped you learn a little bit more about Cree and get a better idea how to play him. Please feel free to comment what hero you'd like to see next.